Good morning, Terry. It's Greg here from Boats and Blades. It's great to chat to you again. And just looking at the launch on Saturday, thank you for traveling up to Johannesburg. Thank you for the launch and everything that you did there. And big thank you for all the effort that you've put into putting this History of Jeppe Rowing book together. We're looking forward to it. And I mean, right now, in terms of understanding the process, could you tell us a bit about the book, how you approached it, and maybe some golden nuggets that you've pulled out of your findings so far?
Good morning, Greg. Thank you. Yes, very happy to do that. And thank you for facilitating the trip to Johannesburg. It was a real treat to be able to meet several of the people who've been involved in helping with the book up there. I found your team to be enormously helpful. Alex and Tracy and Louise were absolute stars. That event could not possibly have happened without them. So thank you for that, and thank you for your favorable comments. I think it went pretty well. It wasn't such an easy thing to do with the PowerPoint and being on the stage and possibly facing the wrong way and the camera not showing onto the screen. But anyway, we did the best we could. I have really enjoyed putting the book together. For me, it's been an absolute pleasure. It has not been what several people have called, I suppose, a labor of love, yes, but it hasn't been laborious. I've really enjoyed it, and I've learned such a lot about my old school. I had not really been in touch much since the end of '64 when I wrote my last matric exam. I'd been back for a couple of reunions along the way, but you know, being down in Cape Town and then moving up to the Eastern Cape and following a career which led me in different directions, I tended to lose touch with the school, except for my very good buddy Jeppe, who would always keep me in check and make sure I got to reunions if at all possible. So, Greg, when you came up with the notion of a history of Jeppe Rowing and the fact that the club needed that kind of record, that resonated with me, and I decided that's what I can do for the school. That's how I can give back. I didn't have a stash of cash to hand over, but I was retired, so I was very willing to give of my time. And that's what I did. Whenever I had spare time over the course of the last year, I would sit down and work away at putting this book together. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's been a very rewarding project. Kevin Robbins, the archivist, was very, very helpful in sending me material, as was Simon Moore. And yourself, of course, Greg, you also sent material, and all three of you put me in touch with your network. And from the side of Kevin, who holds the detailed information regarding every single chap who's ever been through the school, it was very helpful to be able to get from him the list of captains right through from 1959 to 2022. And their email addresses. Some of them are not up to date, but I did the best I could to track them down. And in the end, I must have communicated with probably 90% of those captains, and what super chaps they turned out to be. It was a real privilege for me to meet them, even though it was only electronically. I hope I will meet them in person one day somewhere down the line, because they, to a man, they took this project on board, and they cooperated, and they sent me whatever they could for the book, even if it was just one single photograph or just a little recollection in written form. That was fantastic, and I managed to put in as much of that stuff as I possibly could in sequential order, season by season, mixing text with photograph. I tried my level best to get to cover as many of the chaps as possible in terms of what was written and who was in the photographs. Of course, space is limited. One can't get every single person in. There was a stage when I was actually insistent on putting in all of the team photographs from all of those years. And honestly, unfortunately, the number of pages, it just got too big, because the team photographs each would take up an entire page. So in the end, I had to zap those, which was a little bit of a pity, but everything else is still intact. And Greg, we're at the point now where you're aware, of course, that we're negotiating with publishers. The intention is to have the book flying off the shelves, we hope, by the end of July. It's all but done. There are a few little bits of touching up that have to be sorted out here and there. And the business team up in Joburg, which Jeppe is leading now, has taken this thing to the business end of the project. I'm just carrying on, tidying up wherever I can with the written document. So, Greg, I'm not sure if there's anything more you'd like me to talk about.
Yeah,
I'm happy to do so.
Well, thank you, Terry. I think in terms of, I mean, our anticipation is that, you know, we will have a book ready for distribution by the end of July, and it sounds like we are on target for that.
Yes.
And already we've got, in terms of people ordering books, we've from Saturday, we've got probably 45 books on pre-order, which is really, really great. And that's just the people that, you know, that we've spoken to. I know on social media there's a lot of people that have shown an interest, and we're capturing that. So yeah, I mean, from our side, it's a thing of making people aware of excuse me, how they can order the book.
Yes. Yeah.
Making it as easy as possible, and then at the end of the day, distributing that book. So and you know, from everything that we've seen, it's going to be a high-end book. You know, we're not cutting any corners in terms of the quality, which is really, really important. It's something that each Jeppe oarsman can have on their table or the coffee table, and they can have it there with pride. And I think that's really it's indicative of the pride and the fullness of life that we've got out of Jeppe Rowing in particular, and the fact that we can carry that with us and, you know, display it and show it to people, and also not just showing it to people but enjoying it ourselves. So yeah, no, just once again from our side, a massive thank you. And yeah, is there, I suppose, is there any particular golden nugget that you've pulled out that you'd like to share now?
I think for me, Greg, I think for me, overall, if I can say this, there is one, and that is the, how can I put it, the expression of pride and commitment, which these fellows, all of the captains and all of the people, they themselves have managed to put me in touch with, their buddies from their years, are able to express even at this stage. I mean, from Cliff Eager, who was captain in 1962, when I was just a little guy there. I think I was in Form 2 at that stage, or Form 3 for the Standard 8. He was captain that year. I managed to get in touch with him. I had been in touch with Brian Goodall, of course, captain of 61, before he passed on. And I had got some nice info from Brian. But Cliff, who lives in Canada and has been out of touch with the school for a long, long time, was delighted to hear from me, delighted to be able to share his experience of what Jeppe had meant to him all those years ago, right through the list of all of the captains, probably up to 2019 was the last guy I was really able to interact with, was Nick Bontes. And so every single one, from the old to the young to the in-between, expressed their pride in the club, the fact that they had learned so much, specifically through rowing. Rowing had become a part of their lives, and had been just so important to them as it had with me. And I could understand exactly what these chaps were saying. We're all part of the one big community, the fraternity of Jeppe Rowers, and it's just a wonderful feeling to know that there are so many chaps out there who share that interest and that passion, and who derive it from the same roots, from Jeppe Rowing.
And well, Terry, thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing, and we look forward to the launch of the book. Well, not into the launch of the book, but the publication of the book, and to, as you've said, see it flying off the shelf. So thank you very much for your time.
Great pleasure, Greg. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.